Hello, hello. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope that you're getting caught up on all your work and everything's going well for this week. This week we're on chapter 3, which is the rooms division. So this whole section is basically on hotels, the industry, and just the different various parts. And so this time we're looking at the rooms. The learning objectives up front are really what I want you guys to get the meat of the whole point of this chapter, and it's to outline the duties and responsibilities of key executives and department heads. So the executive housekeeper, the assistant manager, the general manager, and those types. They're discussed later in the chapter. Describe the main functions of the room division and department. Describe property management systems and discuss yield management. Yield management is very important. It's essentially how the hotel keeps running, how they gauge out, how much they should charge for rooms, look to see if there's any conventions or major things coming to the area. In this chapter, you'll learn how to calculate occupancy percentages, the average daily rates, and the actual percentage of potential rooms revenue. Those are going to be very important. You will see them again on the test. You will see them on your quizzes if you haven't already taken your quiz this week. It spells it out for you in the book. It's very simple. You just have to follow the steps, the guidelines in the book. This chapter also outlines the importance of reservations and guest service functions, and then it talks about the concierge and how important that is to the hotel. So, as you get into the chapter, it talks about the role of the hotel general manager. Really pay attention to that. There's a little story on Caesar Ritz. Go ahead and read that. It's good general knowledge about founders of our industry. It talks about the executive committee, and that basically just means the department heads. So human resources, food and beverage, rooms division, marketing, sales, engineering, accounting. All these people are under the general manager, and they answer to the general manager. So when things are kind of going on, these are the people who kind of inform and help the general manager make decisions. So the general manager just doesn't make all the decisions on their own. They have a whole group of people that helps them. The book calls it the executive committee. Other places will just call them department heads or supervisors. So each place will call it a little bit differently. But just know that the general manager gets help from a bunch of different people around the hotel to make decisions concerning the hotel. When it talks about the rooms division, it really talks about the front office and the night audit. The front office is basically they're there, they check people in, they sell the rooms, they maintain balance of guest accounts. So the guest comes in, they take their card, they verify how many nights they're going to be, and so they just make sure that everything is correct on the guest account when they check in. They also offer any services like cashing checks, holding mail, sending faxes, sending mail. Again, the whole purpose of the front desk is to make customers feel at home, make them feel welcomed, and to offer anything that we can provide to them. And then it talks about night auditor. Generally, the night auditor is the person who kind of balances all of the guest accounts. There's a system they run through the PMS system, and they are the ones who kind of get that done night to night. And then it has a listing here on page 112 of what all the night auditor does. They talk about Hyatt hotels and the corporate profile. That'd be a really good one to pay attention to. Hyatt is a really popular hotel chain. And then again on page 114, it breaks down the daily report, such as the room occupancy percentage, ROP, the average daily rate, ADR, and then over on page 116, it talks about revenue management per available room, which is RevPAR. And so it discusses in the revenue management area how to find the RevPAR. And so those are the 3 things you're going to see on the quiz and on the test. So pay attention to those. And then as you get further along into this program, you're going to have whole courses designed around these practices. So there will be more on that later on in the program. Then it starts to talk about the energy management systems, what hotels are doing to make the rooms more energy efficient, whether that's by conserving water, conserving energy, all the various different things that are becoming really popular now. It talks about the call accounting system, how people get charged for their phone calls. So, that's a good thing to know, the CAS system. And then it talks about reservations. It talks about how people make their reservations, how people are billed for their reservations. So, that you spend the next few pages really into reservations. One thing I want you guys to really get out of this is the difference in between a confirmed reservation and a guaranteed reservation. Just because your reservation is confirmed, it does not mean that it's guaranteed. A guarantee will, you will have given your credit card and they will have charged your card, whereas a confirmed is you just have a reservation, but after a certain point they kind of release those and you don't have a reservation. So really know the difference in between a confirmed reservation and a guaranteed reservation. The next little bit talks about uniform services and the concierge. So it talks about housekeeping and what housekeeping looks like. It gives you a checklist of all the things housekeepers and the executive housekeeper would do. It goes into how you would determine how many housekeepers you need per day. The total number of occupied rooms, and any no-shows, and then divided by the number of rooms that each person is expected to get, and that's how you figure out how many house attendants you need that day. So pay attention to that. And really, in the housekeeping area, you want to look at productivity. How do you get the housekeepers to be productive? Is it, they're being paid by hour? Is it that they're being paid per, how many rooms they clean? Each hotel will have a different take on that. You'll learn a little bit about Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA. And these are all things that really pertain to housekeeping because of the chemicals that housekeepers come into contact with. It goes on to talk about spas and laundry and just the different services offered in the hotel. And of course, it follows up with security and loss prevention. So, how are you keeping things more secure? I mean, the number one thing when you go to a hotel, you expect to be safe and secure, and you don't expect to have that shaken or taken away from you, that feeling that so it really talks about how the industry, what they're doing equipment wise and safety procedure wise. And then, of course, we've got trends again, diversity of workforce, the increased use of technology, the quest for increases in productivity, increasing revenue management, greening of hotel and guest rooms, security, diversity of the guests, compliance with ADA, use of hotel websites, in-room technology upgrades, So these are all trends that this particular area of the hotel are facing, and what they're having to kind of go up against. You guys have for this week, instead of a case study, you have an article review, just one. That'll need to be uploaded in Blackboard under the case study article review tab there on the left hand side. Upload just one. It must be uploaded. I won't take anything typed into Blackboard. It must be a page in length, double spaced, Times New Roman font, and also size 12 font. But I would also like for you guys to look over the case studies that are in your book. There's 3 of them. It's case study, guest is checking out, case study, overbooked, the front office perspective, and then case study, overbooked, the housekeeping perspective. This gets into some good thought processes I want you guys to begin to think about when dealing, especially in the front desk and housekeeping area of a hotel. Because these will definitely be scenarios that if you continue into hotels, you'll run into. Trust me. Again, some key concepts I want you guys to get is application service provider, the average daily rate, call accounting system, central reservations office, the concierge, confirm reservation, guaranteed reservation, room divisions, room occupancy rate, revenue per available room, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. These are all words that should jump out to you when listening to things or reading things about the hospitality industry. If you see any of this, all of this should jump out to you, and it should be familiar to you. And that pretty much wraps it up for chapter 3. We have chapter 4, and then I believe we have a test. We have a test coming up on the 14th of September. So the test is coming up pretty quick, but you guys are rocking it on the case studies. You're rocking it on the quizzes. So you guys are doing really, really well. So keep it up. Let me know if you need anything. I'll be glad to meet with you in person, to email, to talk on the phone. Please, please, please just don't feel like you have to be lost and confused. If you need something, let me know and I will work it out for you. All right, you guys have a great day. Finish up strong this week, and I'll talk to you again next week. Bye.